Hello and welcome back to the channel for the Season 2 German Grand Prix, and it's raining for qualifying with the championship hotting up with only a 15-point gap to Verstappen ahead of us. But a wet qualifying could put pay to a good grid position and a good race, but we'll see what happens. So on to our first attempt. We are running with damaged components again this weekend, so we'll be down on a little bit of power and reliability will be a bit of a challenge. So coming through the end of the first lap, we're on the extreme wet tyre. You see we're locking up a bit there, running wide. It's going to cost us all those few tenths of a second. A little bit of a wobble on the exit, and we come through to a 7th place on our opening lap. Not great, so we continue on the same thing. We're up on this lap. It's a little bit better. Another lock up. It's going a bit better, and I think that will put us in the end around 16th, something like that. Yeah, so we're 16th. It's kind of forecast to dry up later on in the session towards the end, so hopefully we can get on the intermediates and go a little bit closer towards the top. Lando in second up there, so that's a bit of an issue. So on to the final attempt. It's now do or die moment. We're in 17th. We are up already though. Managed to take more speed through the first corner.
You're lapping slower than Lando. Lando is faster.
I don't know how many drivers will go on to the intermediates. Before going out, the game did advise not to, saying it was not the ideal tyre and we won't find much more time on it. But in the top right hand corner, looks like we're about 8 tenths up, so looks like the team were wrong there. We break into the hairpin so easily to lock up the front right and then just end up skating off into the runoff area. It's not the case this time, but nice and neat through there. Now we're second up. Ooh, lock up, that's going to cost us. Nice exit. Now we're purple through the middle sector, so this is looking good this lap. As we go into the Sachs curve. Keep it nice and tidy. I think that at the end of the day is what it's going to be. Sainz sets the fastest lap, takes provisional pole position. I think a lot of cars on the intermediate tyres are going to be setting faster lap times. I mean, we're 3 seconds up this lap, but where will it put us on the grid for the Season 2 German Grand Prix?
Good afternoon and welcome to a place that is very special to us all in the Formula One community.
The sun is out and the rain has gone away, which is very good for us because we don't have much wet weather pace, as you've probably seen from Monaco earlier on in the season and the just gone qualifying session.
And I'm expecting some more strong racing today. We're racing in the Rhine Valley this weekend at the home.
So the German Grand Prix is a very high-speed circuit. It has been since its creation and the early 2000s before it changed into its latest configuration. There is overtaking opportunities. Turn 6, probably the main one, just after the flat left-hander into the hairpin.
Lots of wheel-to-wheel action there today. Grid order for today's exciting race. Devon Butler put in a fantastic lap yesterday.
So the grid, pole position went to Devon Butler. Bottas locked out the front row, Mercedes there. Vettel 4th, that's probably the best qualifying for them. Amazing qualifying for Renault, 5th and 7th. We pick up 9th, which is not great, but better than Norris and Hamilton, who starts 14th. Verstappen starts 19th after taking a grid penalty for changing a power unit component. So that's going to be the difference. Both championship protagonists starting from near the back of the field, in the middle of the field. We've got a used power unit and Verstappen has new components, so we'll be down on power and he should have extra power. So the grid now lining up on their starting lines. Everyone hoping for a good start. 5 red lights. And we're away. Great start for Butler. Gets away from Bottas. We've had a bit of a shocker in the middle of the pack there. We go to the outside of Sainz. Managed to get to the outside of the Toro Rosso as well. But Sainz comes back up the inside. Late break. We go out wide to avoid any contact. That gives Sainz both of our positions. But we managed to stay ahead of the Toro Rosso. As we now have pressure from Antonio Giovinazzi in the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo will go to the outside. But the overtake really isn't there and we keep the position. Should also give Lando a chance up the inside of Verstappen, who's had a great start.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
So we've got damage to the internal combustion engine. We're starting to lose straight line speed. So we're going to have a heavier reliance on the electric components to boost the car along as Sainz gets up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. We have a go at the Aussie through the Sachs curve. Move, late lunge from us. As we dive up the inside now into the turn 6 hairpin. Narrowly avoid hitting Hulkenberg and eventually get Ricciardo on traction.
Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep the temps under control.
So damage to the heating elements as we dive up the inside of Hulkenberg. Too late on the brakes, but we will get DRS going down the flat left hand corner as we go to the outside, which will become the inside for the hairpin, and I think we're through there. There's a DRS overtake. But the power unit components are definitely starting to feel the wear, so we may even struggle to actually finish this Grand Prix. So we are all over the back of George Russell's Williams. We should have DRS and up the inside for a nice textbook overtake. But the Williams is still around the outside. The Williams held it, but wasn't really going to keep the position. So we have a little mistake through the left, the flat left before the turn 6 hairpin, giving Lando a chance up the inside. Lock up just a little bit, but we should have traction. So we short shift to try and find it. Contact between the two McLarens. And we lock up into the left-hander, but keeping the position of 6th place. Definitely on the back foot here. I think Lando's got better pace, but obviously we're fighting for a championship right now and we can't be falling back into the clutches of Max Verstappen. We go defensive. Terrific drive around the outside and with contact. We do just shove our teammate off the track there.
Show respect for your teammate. There's little satisfaction to be had in overtaking like that.
And that's the team radio call. Not happy with that move at all, Jeff. And yes, it was very aggressive. As we now have Verstappen all over the back of us. Our championship rival, we go for the squeeze, but Verstappen's not having any of it. Lock up, that's going to give Verstappen the position, and it does. We have a great exit out of the hairpin. We dive to the inside. And we get the position back. Yeah, definitely having some issues on the braking and just the stability of the car. The car just does not feel anything like it did at Silverstone. So, Lando update. The start of a comeback. He's up the inside of the Toro Rosso, so hopefully some points on the cards for our teammate. as we have Verstappen all over the back of us again. He goes to the left hand side as we brake for the hairpin lock up. Contact, another uncharacteristic move from us there. The championship battles clearly getting to us as we make contact with our rival. And Verstappen loses front part of the front wing again. Second race that's happened. Now,
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
now things have calmed down just a little bit. We have set fastest lap. Hopefully we can get our head down, stay out of trouble.
This lap, push hard on the in-lap.
Stay out of trouble, and hopefully something good will come of this race. Although slight mistake into the pit lane is not going to help anything. That's great work from the McLaren boys to keep us in the fight with Carlos Sainz a few laps later, and we're up the inside. But Sainz will have the DRS. Sainz goes to the outside, which will come the inside for turn 6 hairpin, and gets the move done way before the hairpin. Actually, there's nothing we can do to fight that. We get a bit of a mistake on the exit as well, but the very next lap we go for exactly the same move.
Caution. The virtual safety car is out. Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta.
So it looks like Albon's out of the race. Reliability there, and this is Lando Norris overtaking Max Verstappen for 9th position, I believe.
Keep managing your tyres. Manage your tyres. The gap to the car ahead is 4.9 seconds. We're leading our teammate by 8.7 seconds.
Big slide coming through the first corner. Definitely a difficult Grand Prix for us, and that's Giovinazzi now out.
Virtual safety car deployed. Slow down and maintain a positive delta. Virtual safety car is deployed.
We always seem to lose so much time in these VSCs as well, so going to give Lewis the perfect opportunity to close up on.
The turbocharger is on its last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum.
So the turbocharger's now just calling it.
Gap to car in front is 4.9 seconds.
We'll do really well to get out of this Grand Prix in the points. Obviously we are also looking to keep these components in the car for the next Grand Prix at the Hungaroring. Obviously it's more of a Monaco style circuit, and this is Lando Norris fighting Carlos Sainz. Another DRS overtake, pretty much sorted before they even get to the corner.
This is your final lap of the race.
Final lap of the race, then we come across the last corner and now across the line to finish 5th at the German Grand Prix.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Fairly controversial race this one, and Butler manages to pick up 3 race wins now, which is better than Verstappen, surprisingly, our championship leader. But it was a strange one, upside down grid, some late lunges and controversial teammate moments.
Today, after showcasing some incredible driving, there's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
With Butler coming out on top in the end. Confirming the results, the winner was Devon Butler, second place Charles Leclerc, and Sebastian Vettel finished 3rd. We managed to pick up 5th, so that's 10 points in the challenge for the championship, with Verstappen only picking up 9th. Lando was lucky to come back to 7th place after our contact on the opening few laps of the race. Championship, Verstappen leads. We now have a 7-point deficit. We are closing that, but that could all change in the next race at the Hungaroring. So the Teams Championship, Red Bull still lead. We're still second. Nothing's actually changed here. We're just trying to close that gap to the Red Bull. But that's it for the Formula 1 content. Stay tuned for the GTSport Weekly Livery Challenge and the midweek lobby session. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.